We shift our focus to this story now. Communications Minister Solly Malatsi has shared plans to roll out cyber technology to all rural schools by 2029. This in an effort to empower learners in rural areas with the same quality of connectivity and access to digital skills as learners in more developed areas. As efforts to ensure digitally competent and productive populace for South Africa continues, concerns have been raised about schools that only offer maths literacy to students, not offering pure mathematics and consequentially limiting students' options for a future in the STEM fields. Basil Manuel, Executive Director at the National Professional Teachers Organisation of South Africa, joins us now for a further discussion on this. Good evening, Basil. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. So some have lauded the minister on that plan to roll out cyber technology in rural schools, but others feel there are far too many issues deserving more attention. But realistically, those would be outside of at least this minister's portfolio. So let's just start with his plan. What are your views as NOPTOSA around this cyber technology drive?
Good evening, and thanks for having me. First of all, we're supporting the drive. The one thing that we can't do is say to our children, to say to South Africa as a whole, wait, we need to do X and Y. Whether it is ablutions, whether it is mud schools, etc., we can't stop because the world is continuing to move. And if we stop, we're still moving backwards because the others are moving forward. So we have to do this in tandem with attending to the other things. None of them are less important, but we can't stop ensuring that our children are entering the digital age whilst we attend to the other things.
All right. I suppose, many could say it would have discouraged the minister if we're going to go the route of whatabouterism, that if you've got this cyber technology drive, then you're being asked about ablution facilities, that we still got pit latrines in certain toilets, which, like we say, is outside of his purview at the very least. But then to the issue around core maths no longer being taught at over 460 schools, that's quite worrying. I mean, we're in the fourth industrial revolution. It's upon us. So proficiency in STEM subjects, your science, technology, engineering and maths are critical in supporting industrialization and overall economic prosperity that we keep talking about. What are your views on just these stats around the number of schools that are no longer or have abandoned pure maths?
It's a tragedy, but it's the flip side of the coin. You know, there has been such a push to improve matric results. And that push has had a lot of negative consequences as well. One of the negative consequences has been the pressure that is applied from the national to the province, from the provinces to the districts, from the districts to the schools. And schools are now doing all sorts of things to get those magic figures, to get the results looking good. But having good results or results appearing to look good, but in fact what you are doing is you are lessening the life chances of the children, is a hollow victory. And this is exactly what is happening. This is not happening because there are no teachers. There may be in one or two of them. Let's acknowledge that good maths teachers are an issue, but it is primarily about results and the push for results, and as a result some seriously bad things are being done to get the 100% matric pass.
So who do we blame for that? If we've got an obsession with the 100% pass rate as opposed to perhaps looking at the substance, that when we look at this pass rate, are these the kind of subjects that will ensure we have this greater industrialization and the overall economic prosperity we desire? Who are we to blame for this obsession with just the results, the numbers?
I think there are a variety of people and factors to blame. First of all, it's the pressure of the public. The public does want to see this. And so by conceiving of a more pressurized environment, we as teacher unions are saying, watch out, our teachers are burning out. Watch out for the mental health of our teachers. Our matric teachers are teaching around the clock, every day, every morning, every afternoon, every weekend, every holiday. That's unsustainable. Secondly, the curriculum has been too slow to change. We've been talking about the three streams model since forever. Until we have a system where children of various abilities can still find their place in the sun, we will continue to have this overly pressurized environment where people are teaching around the clock. That, and added to the unrealistic expectation that any schooling system can achieve 100% if there isn't a negative selection. When I talk about negative selection, I'm talking about how many children are forced to stay behind as opposed to reach the matric goal. You've got to look at the stats that the very department publishes. It is a crying shame. So it's not only about the maths, but it's also about the retardation of children that shouldn't be retarded simply to give the school the 100% pass.
Now, the Education Department's response to why some schools no longer offer core maths is that the learners actually don't select maths at grade 10. There are far too few of them that do, so it doesn't become economically viable to employ a teacher to just teach a few learners. What do you make of that?
It's a cop-out. I will challenge the department with this. They should see. There are schools, and I am saying we have to look at the good examples. There are schools that only do pure maths, where children are given an opportunity with additional lessons, children are given an opportunity with more catch-up programs, etc. High schools have a tough time. They gather children from a large number of primary schools, so there has to be a consolidation. By grade 10, this should have happened. Now, I don't believe the story that children are anti-selecting. The anti-selection is coming from the pressure to get 100% pass.
But do you believe there should be perhaps more subject advocacy to encourage schools and learners to choose mathematics? But some would still say generally their children want nothing to do with maths from as early as grade 9. When grade 10 comes, they don't want it.
Well, I think more should be done. I don't believe the story, but I still do think we don't do enough. Not only mathematics, there's physics, and there are the other STEM subjects which we also need to. But we also need to promote the arts. We have to promote music. Everybody wants music, but we are not doing enough to promote it in our schools. Everybody wants to see the beauty around them. What are we doing there? It can't only be about STEM. But I'm saying STEM is extremely important if we want to compete in the 21st century in the new technologies that are booming. Every day you learn there's something new, and AI is with us, and if we don't teach our children to master that, we are the people that are going to lose out in the long run.
So greater subject advocacy then is probably needed. Basil, thank you very much as always for your time. That's Basil Manuel. He's Executive Director at the National Professional Teachers Organisation of South Africa, NEPTOSA.